My voice is also a little low today, so just bear with me. For that, I have a cup of coffee, and I hope every one of you are also excited today, right, to learn about the generative AI. And the thing I want you to focus now in this session is, right, obviously, you will be taking few notes today, right? You don't have to write everything. So, what is the best technique, right? So, I hope everyone have heard about, you might have heard about the Feynman technique of learning anything, right? So it's a, you can say if a man was a scientist, you just take a pointers, right? So we will be covering lot of, you can say new AI things, right? You will be knowing about how does AI work at the back end. So just note down all the pointers, right? You can take screenshots, you can take everything. It's just that once you are done with the mastermind, you can go back and refer to those pointers, refer to those websites, the tools that I will be covering today, so that you have something in your place, right? You are saving your time and not searching for the right set of things. You have it in with you by writing notes, or you're taking screenshots, anything is fine. So just follow this, right? Payment technique, and I'll be going from very basics. You can imagine from the definition of generative AI, because I know there are people who are just starting their journey in the generative AI, and there are few who have tried, let's say, few tools, if not, let's say, ChatGPT, right? So ChatGPT is something I am assuming that most of the folks in the call today have tried at least once, twice, or they are using on the daily basis, right? So keep your pen paper ready, right? Write your notes, very few pointers, so that you can refer it back. And with that, let's start this entire mastermind. The first session where you will be learning about level 0, 1, and 2 about the AI, right? Then we will be deep diving inside some of the prompting techniques, right? I'll be showcasing you how the different types of model, what all you can do with AI by generating different set of videos and as well as posters. And the last part will be very exciting when we will be building our own AI toolkit, right? So that means how people are building or utilizing AI to become more productive, which tools will help you out in your entire journey. So we have handpicked those tools for you. So I'll be covering till that point. Right. So with that, I think already funny introduced. So my name is Divij, and I've been into the AI since very long now. And previously, it was mostly famous by the data sciences world, right? So I did my bachelor's from JSS in electronics and communication, and I hope you might have seen these two tiny devices. Can anyone tell me what are the names of these two devices? Quickly in the chat. If you can recognize these two devices. Okay, I already have my answer. It's Arduino and Raspberry Pi. Absolutely. Motherboard. No, it's not a motherboard. Someone is saying motherboard, right? Looks like a motherboard, right? But it's a very tiny devices. I mean, it can fit into the palm of your hands, right? It is that small device, but it is capable of doing all the things like a motherboard, right? On a low scale level, right? Low RAM, you can say low processing units, everything. But I was IoT developer, embedded software engineer. I worked at Air India for a very short stint of 11 months, right? As an embedded software engineer, I was working with their unit in the avionics department. So that's how I started my journey into electronics. And the one thing that came common is the data, right? The lot of huge amount of data which was flowing through these sensors to these devices, and that made me excited about pursuing my career into data sciences, right? So I went on to pursuing my career. I did my master's in AI and machine learning from Symbiosis, and then went on to University of Hyderabad to do my dual masters and published a lot of research paper. Made this AI bot, right? This Diva, right? This Diva was my first AI assistant when there was no, you can imagine, chat GPT or anything like that. It was back in 2018, and it was a talking assistant which was able to answer anything if you ask any question, if we have trained it on that particular point of data, right? So that is all about my journey, which is looks like in terms of the education. And then I started working at VMware as a data and applied scientist. Worked there for 2 years. It's a US based MNC company headquartered in Bangalore, and now it's part of a Broadcom. And finally, After 2 years, I joined Microsoft. So it's been, I mean, I did a lot of competitions, by the way, right? So this is something I'm very passionate about, right? Participating in hackathons. So see, Shark Tank, I won at VMware, the first machine learning competition. And then finally, I joined Microsoft. And currently, I'm working as a data and applied scientist in the Copilot team, where we are building a lot of Copilot solutions for the customers and for the I mean, the backend models for detecting any kind of an anomaly and all that stuff. And one thing remained consistent. I think Funny was also talking about the passion to solve the problem is something which I always aspire for, right? So that is what helping me to won these hackathons consecutively, right? So 2023, 2024, all the hackathons, me and my team, obviously not as a alone participant, but along with my team, we won these hackathons across global Microsoft. And this led to build one product, edu.ai, and getting incubated, or you can say even sold to Microsoft itself, right? So this was the first product we built in 2023, right? In around June or July framework, where we built an educational AI assistant within the teams and a standalone app whose core aim was to help students and teachers to learn better, right? And that time I'm talking about when ChatGPT was pretty new, right? ChatGPT came. If any one of you know, can you tell me? Okay, let's ask this question in the chat. When ChatGPT came into the market, what was the year and what was the month? Yes, it's 2022 November. Absolutely correct. It's not 2019, people who are saying. It's November 2022 when the first time we witnessed something like ChatGPT, any generative AI tool, right? And we launched this in 2023 in June, July framework, where we added a lot of capabilities and built a full-fledged educational AI assistant. And now it is up and running as a Shiksha Copilot, right? You can Google search it, just Google search after the session, not right now. Just search for Shiksha Copilot. It is running in more than 300 plus schools, mostly in the NGO side, I mean, non-governmental, non-profit side. So all the government schools, teachers, and all they are using as a pilot as of now. And once we have the entire thing, we will be scaling, right? It's now available on Teams and with the name of Shiksha Copilot. Okay, so a lot of that, right? I'll talk more about that towards the end of the session, or you can connect me personally. But with that, I'm really excited once again to come here to teach and share my experience and to make you learn about what is generative AI, how you can make start your journey at least and become excited for this generative AI, right? You should not be having a fear or anxious mindset, just learn this new era of AI with the growth mindset, right? So that's what we are starting with. And let's look at the definition, then how model works, and what are the best prompting techniques, right? So all of that I'll be covering. So just get through this technology, right? So let's start with the definition as our first slide. What is Gen AI? Right? This is the core starting point. And if you just read the definition, what comes on the Google, and now I will be dissecting all the layers inside this definition. So what it talks about is generative AI is a type of AI, right? It is not the only AI, it is just one type, right? There are all kind of descriptive AI, predictive AI, right? It is one kind of an AI that creates original content, right? I want every one of you to focus on the word original, right? Such as text, images, and videos by learning the patterns, right? Now you just think it off, right? And I'll give you a lot of examples throughout so that you can retain again a Feynman technique. When you have a lot of examples, you can retain the concept for a longer duration of time. Right now, you imagine, ask this question to yourself, right? All the people are who are in the call today. If let's say you want to learn something which you have never learned throughout your life, right? Throughout your life, that subject you have never learned and you are doing it for the first time, right? For example, let's say you say me that, hey, Divij, can you go and present some topic on chemical engineering, right? I have not done chemical engineering. My background is not in chemical engineering, but let's say I want to present a something in that particular niche, right? So what I will do, right? And forget about we have an AI. I will be going to Google, right? Typing about the topic. I'll be getting some books, right? Obviously, books will be my best resource to learn. I'll be connecting with few folks who are expert in the chemical engineering, right? Be it professors or the teachers out there. So that will be my grasping or learning material, right? I'll be referring to a lot of great websites who publish about the chemical side of things. So I will gather it, I will learn, right? Learning from large data sets, you can imagine, right? Learning from books, learning from resources, learning from professors. Once I have gained that knowledge, once it is a time to present or time to deliver, I will not be copy pasting the content from the book, right? I have learned, I have understood. Now I can generate my own example, I can generate my own analogies, right? And same way artificial intelligence is also doing. So it has learned from the content which obviously human have provided it, right, on the internet, and now it can have the capability by learning these patterns and creating original content through a beautiful science called probability. Right now we will be looking at what is happening in this entire space, and trust me, once you get this understanding, all the clutter that you have, that AI is so vast, where I should start, will get clear to you, right? So this is my entire, you can say, space looks like AI. And within that we have machine learning, deep learning, obviously the large language model, which is the newly added, you can say, niche into this space, right? Which we call it as generative in nature, right? So now I'll give you three examples, or I would say I'll give you example, and this clutter will be clear that where the AI is heading, right? What are the capabilities of this AI part? Right now, you imagine that I want to convey you one information, right? One information that is, let's say, Diwali sales going on, right? We just had a festive Diwali, right? So let's say there is a Diwali sales going on the brand Adidas, right? Very simple example. I want to convey this information to all of you. I can send you a voice note on the WhatsApp, right? That there is a Diwali sale, 50% off on Adidas. I can send you text message, right? I can send you an image with the poster 50% off on Adidas. There is no other way on this planet that I can share this information to you. And that is the reason, right? If you can clearly see, my data points are text, audio, and images. And to process this, right, to generate this, process this, getting things out of this, right? Text means I want to classify the text. Images, I want to classify or generate images. Audio, I want to classify the audio. I want to generate the audio. Now we have AI tools. And all the AI tools in the market will be falling under any of these three or combination of these three. Nothing is beyond that. You can think it of. Just take 2 seconds, brainstorm it. There is no tool which is falling apart from these three data points. Only images, text, and audio. And that is where you also think what kind of an application you can build, right? So now machine learning was solving the problem with the structured side of things, right? Deep learning and these LLMs are mostly focused on these three: images, text, and audio. And these are the sciences where we build our application, right? So that people can understand this space and build their AI solutions to solve them faster. Right? I gave you example. That is how this space looks like. And the very small block which you're seeing, large language model, by the name itself, they are large in size. They are language models, means they understand the language of humans, right? They understand the natural language, which is the text part of it, right? Now let's see, how does LLM work? What are the sciences behind, right? All of you use Chat GPT quite a lot now, right? Gemini or any other Claude LLM, right? All these come under the category of large language model, but how they actually work at the back end, right? And I want you to focus on these steps, as these are only 5 steps. So if you get these 5 steps, going back, as Funny said, right, you will be going back and explaining these concepts to your peers, to anyone in your family or friends, right? So that you have that clarity that I know how this tech work at the back end of the things, right? And then we'll go in the application side of things, how we can generate our lot of what we can do with these LLMs, right? So let's understand first what is happening at the back end, right? So it's a subset of generative AI which is primarily focused on my language task, right? It is only focusing on language task, no images, no audio, only text, right? So that is where the name suggests, large language models. Now, let's see the magic. How does ChatGPT understand when I ask something to it, right? How it can comprehend, and we will dissect what is happening, right? So let's say I say that explain me about LLM, right? So all of you know if I just input this sentence, I will get something which is a technical definition, right? Technical definition of what is large language model, right? It is a, I'll explain you, right? All this process, but I got the output that it is a text based input, right? I mean, the like the how human generate the text, it can generate using something called transformers, which is again a technical concept. Don't worry about it. But you got a very technical definition, right? You got a very technical definition here, the popular LLM examples and all that, what it can do, right? We all know it can generate, it can translate, it can summarize, but it's a very technical response. So what is happening at the back end now? You have to decipher it, right? You have to think from the black area, right? The black box. Because you ask something, you get the output. But the question is how the model understand what I need to give the answer, right? If I have asked something like explain me 7 P's of marketing, it will have given me about that part, right? You all know. We all are using chat gpt for quite a long now, so we know that whatever we ask, it go and give me the correct response 99% of times, right? I will take 1% that it can make mistakes. Even chat gpt mentioned that, even all llm mentioned that it can make mistakes, so 99% times it gives me a correct answer. Now let's see what is happening in the backend of this particular tool, right? And I'll be taking example of large language model, but you can, I mean, I'm taking example of chat gpt, but any large language model works on the same principle, right? It doesn't matter that I'm explaining you with chat gpt, so chat gpt works like that. No, right? All my large language model works on the same principle, and it is just 5 step process, and we are already on my step one, which is tokenization, right? What is happening at the back end? Let's understand all 5 steps. Step one, tokenization, right? Or tokenize, you can call it anything. Let's understand what is happening. It says that breakdown of my text into smaller tokens, right? So that means my text will be broken down into smaller sentence, right? I'll come to this example once we'll reach there, right? Like as soon as I input something, right, all of these words are getting broken down into single token. Now what you have to do is you have to ask why and how on each and every slide, right? I don't want you to just give you the definition, I want you to understand the mathematics, or you can say the crux of this tokenization, right? Let me show you very quickly, right? If I just type hi, we all are learning Gen AI. Right, I'm just typing in. We all are learning Gen AI. It is showing me that it is 7 tokens, right? The each and every word in my sentence is a single token. Now you tell me. I'll ask you 2 questions, and you will be clear with this concept. First, you tell me why computers, right, is breaking down into smaller tokens, or before even that you can tell me, do I have finite set of words in english language or infinite? First you tell me about this. Do I have a finite or infinite words? Okay, I can see the mix of both, right? Only english words, I'm talking about english vocabulary. Finite. Okay, most of the folks are correct here, which is saying finite, right? All the people who are saying infinite, just think it of an English dictionary in front of you, right? That thick Oxford dictionary that we used to have in our childhood, that Oxford dictionary, which starts from A go till Z, right? So it's a finite set of words, right? So if you just do a google search, it is something around 1,30,000 words in english language, right? It's just a google stats that right now we have approximately 1,30,000 vocabulary words, which is still a finite, right? Unless I mean, we all as a human know around 20 to 30,000 vocabulary words, but total words are 1,30,000, right? This is the google stats. unless we are Shashi Tharoor, right? Shashi Tharoor has its own vocabulary words, which we all don't know, right? So that is something we know that these are finite set, right? So why model is breaking down into tokens that you need to understand? Because for the model or the language of computer, if you have heard in your basics, right, in your high level, is numbers. Computers understand numbers, right? They don't understand text. The language of any computers, any mathematical model is numbers. They understand numeric things, right? So model is not looking at your English text. Model is looking at your this tokens, and that is where the term tokenization comes in, right? These are my token IDs. That means high is represented with 12194, V is represented with 581, and so on, right? So I can have a finite set of words. If every year new words get added to my dictionary, that is also we remaining finite only, right? Let's say today is 1,30,000 words. You say that next year 10 words get added into our dictionary. So what, right? It will be 1,30,000 plus 10, right? So it will be still a finite. So all my words are computed via tokens. Model is breaking down, or you can simply say that whenever you ask something, model will go and bring the relevant token IDs at the backend, right? This is my step one. I've not talking about how the meaning is coming into the picture and so on. This means simply whenever you ask something, the job of tokenization is bring the token ID for explain, bring the token ID for me, bring the token ID for about, and bring the token ID about LLM. So all of that is the first step, tokenization. Why? Because model understand numbers, right? The language of computers is number. We have finite set of words in English language. Plus, now you just think it off. I'll ask again one follow-up question and you will be clear. How many sentences I can make from these words? Is it finite or infinite? How many sentences I can make from these 1,30,000 words? It will be infinite, right? Yes, now it will be infinite. How many sentences I can make from these words? Infinite, right? All my words, all my text out there on the internet is the permutation and combination of these words only, right? So that is the first step, tokenization, breaking down of my words into smaller tokens. Second step, right? Now we are coming to our second step, meaning, right? How the meaning is, yes, we are coming to meaning now, right? Model has learned everything that is present on the internet, right? While training we call it as model has seen all the examples, all the text on the internet. That means model was learning the pattern inside the text, and that is being done via embedding model, right? Embedding model, let's again visualize. I'll show you all the things visually so that you can understand, right? So these are all my words now. You can imagine these are all my words in English language. Right now, we are plotting 10,000 words. If I search Apple, right? So what is happening at the back end? Model has seen that all these words are being associated with the word Apple, right? The Macintosh, Microsoft, OS, IBM, right? If I just zoom in a bit, I can see something Apple juice, right? Apple wine, all of that. Why? Because when the training was happening, the different sentences model have seen, model saw that Apple was associated with these words. Right. Similarly, I give you one more example. Let's say democratic, right? You can see democracy, socialist, party, communist. So all these words now got a meaning while training on the large amount of data sets, very large amount of data sets, which is all the internet. And model has learned these patterns via embedding, whose job is to convert or bring the numerical vector representation, right? They are very high in dimension. You can see for this particular model, it is 200 dimensions. 200 dimension means it's a series of 200 numbers like this: 0.13, 0.24, 0.9. How long is that string? It is 200 dimensions for this particular word to vec model, right? Now, chat GPT can be as long as 2048 dimensions. That means 2000 dimensions. That is the scale of what we are right now witnessing all these words, right? So now I'll give you one example, and I think this will be very much clear how the model is understanding the context out of it, right? So if I say I am eating a delicious apple as my first sentence, and second sentence, I am using an Apple iPhone, right? So model has learned that there is two kind of apples. One is the fruit apple, one is the brand apple, because it has seen these articles while training, right? The words like apple juice, the calories of apple, right? Now you can imagine, right? Calories in apple. If I just type this, right? Think logically. Because everything, if you think from first principle logically, you will be understanding everything. Don't go into memorizing anything. Think logical. If I just type calories in apple, all the articles which I will get here will be talking about the fruit apple. Do you think it will ever be talking about the brand Apple if I just type calories in Apple? The answer is no, right? If I type market size of Apple, market size of Apple, right? It is talking about the growth or the Apple brand. It can be both, right? It can be the market size of Apple. So that is how model needs to understand what words are associated with what particular thing, right? And now if I want to confuse the model, right? I like Apple, right? This is how you are doing it live. I like Apple. Now model doesn't know which Apple embedding I need to bring in, right? Because Apple can be fruit and Apple can be a brand as well. I have not mentioned anything, right? There are no associated words which can talk about that. And the model itself says that that's awesome. Are you a fan of their products like iPhone, MacBook, or something else, right? So it is something else means fruit also. Anything can be there. So model is now confused which Apple you are talking about. And that is how the model have learned everything via embedding models, right? So the job of embedding model is to bring the relevant, this numerical vector of an associated word, which it has already been trained while training, right? So now meaning comes into my picture because it has seen all the text. That's what we assume while dealing with large language models, right? So my first step is done. Second step is to whatever token or the words that I have used, break or bring the numerical vector, which is very large in size, right? Very large, up to 200 dimension or 2000 dimensions. And finally, the last step on the input, right? This is the last step on the input side, which is the self attention, right? What do you mean by self attention? Though it's a mathematical concept, but I will not go into any maths, right? Since we are learning for from the first principles. So I asked this question, right? Explain me about LLM. It gave me a technical definition, right? It gave me a technical definition. But now, if I just do the same thing, right? Same query, explain me LLM as if I am 5 year old, right? So what is happening now, right? Model has given more attention to this particular line, right? Same question, explain me LLM, but I don't want a technical definition. I want you to explain me as if I'm a 5 year old. So model has given more importance to this part. And now you can see, right? The definition is, imagine you have a super smart robot friend who loves reading books, stories, listening to everything that people say. The robot remembers all that information, and LLM is like that robot brain. It has learned from the tons of books, websites, and conversations. So when you ask a question, it tries to answer it, right? So now I got a definition which I can go and explain to a 5 year old kid also, right? How does model understood? Via self attention mechanism, that, okay, I have to do the same task, but not what I did previously, right? Previous example, you can see, right? I have this. Explain me about LLM. If I go and tell this to a 5 year old kid, he will scratch his head, right? That what you are telling me about the LLM. So, as a self attention matters, it will decide which words or which input I need to focus on, right? And that is what we call it as self attention. This is the last step that happens on the input side, right? Model focus on the most important part of my text, right? So, again, first of all, whatever you input on Chat GPT, it will be breaking down into tokens, bringing the relevant token IDs. Since my words are finite, embedding job is to bring the numerical vector, which means getting introduced the meaning into my picture, right? Each and every word has a different embedding vector, right? Different values, which it has been trained while training the model, right? So now it has bring the relevant meaning of each and every word. It knows which Apple user is talking about. If my query is calories in Apple, or let's say the stock price of Apple, right? So stock price of Apple means the brand Apple. So model understood my query, self attention, focus on the most important part. And finally, this is my last step where the output start coming in, right? Model starts giving me the output. Now you guys tell me, because this is very similar to how we human think. If I have this sentence, imagine you have a super smart robot friend who has read every dash. What all words I can fit in this sentence, right? The one possible word is book. Can you tell me other words which can be fit in here? Other words rather than book. Okay, thing, article, stories, mind, website, comics, thoughts, magazine. Great, right? This is what I wanted to have. Right? Absolutely correct, right? WhatsApp. Who has read every WhatsApp? Perfect, right? So now you can imagine what you have done just now, right? You went on to thinking state and you have a possible set of words, let's say 20, 30, or maybe 50 words. And out of that 50, you predicted, right? You did the same thing, right? You predicted out of top 50 words, and whatever comes to your mind as the highest word, right? Like first come, what is the first word that came to your mind? You just output it in the chat. And the same thing model also does, right? Model assigns the probability to each and every word. And I have a finite word, right? I have total 1,30,000 words. Just take that number in the mind. Model will assign probability to all 1,30,000 words and pick from the top high probability words, right? I'm not saying highest, because if I say highest, there will be only one word which has the highest probability. But here I have book as zero point 0.7, let's say newspaper as zero point 0.5, uh, let's say website as my zero point 0.4 probability. But what is the chances of the word, let's say democratic, right? Imagine you have a super smart robot friend who has read every democratic, right? The probability of word democratic will be 0.0001, right? So that is how the same activity which you did, model assigns the probability to each and every word, and that is the science behind any large language model. There is no smart thing, it's all pure magic of, you can say, probability, right? If I go and ask the same question again, I might get a little different response, but it will be very much same, right? I am again asking in the new chat same question, and you have now, all right, imagine you have a magic book. Earlier it was smart robot friend, right? This book can answer the question, all of this, and this magic book is nothing but your LLM. If you compare the words now, right? Magic book was already there, right? Answer question is there. These words are common, right? It can answer any question. This is large language model. So it has changed the analogy, but the choices of words are still very much common, right? And that is the reason model predicts via probability. If I ask you the chances of word democratic or the word, let's say, table, right? Normal table. Coming into this response is 0.001. That is how the model thinks. You ask 10 times, it will give you a similar response, because ultimately it's the probability what it is happening, right? If I change my query, what is the difference between China and India governance? The chances of word democratic coming into my response will be high, right? Maybe zero point 0.5, right? What is the difference between the chances of word democratic when I ask this question, difference between India and China governance is high compared to if I ask in this particular thing, right? So that is how my model works. And finally, it will be done till I get my entire response back, right? That means it will be predicting one word at a time until I get my entire response back. And this is how any large language model works, starting from tokenization, getting the meaning of the words, focusing on what input is most important, and finally predicting one token at a time by assigning the probability to each and every word and picking from the top high probability words, right? Not the highest, high probability words. It can be anything, right? It can be books, it can be mind, it can be newspaper, whatever the top words can be there, which you did right now. And finally, it will generate our response till the time my model gives me or completes its output, right? This is one token at a time. So one prediction, second prediction, third prediction, fourth prediction. So it will keep on doing till I get my full response back. And that is how any large language model works at the backend. Now, question to everyone. How you guys find it now? It was easy to understand. Is it understood how GenAI or how any large language model works? Quickly, yes or no in the chat. Super easy. Yes, understood. Amazing. Perfect. Perfect, right? So now you understand how does the model work. Now that brings us to our second thing inside the LLM, how to get better response, right? How to get better responses, how to generate good output from these models. As you know, it's now a magic of probability. So how we can do that, right? How we should talk to these models? What are the best strategies to get the best output from that? And that is the whole science. You might have heard this term prompt engineering, right? The art of writing good instruction to these models is nothing but prompt engineering, right? And there are tons of prompting techniques. I mean, I can spend entire 3 hours in going into different prompting techniques, right? But they are quite similar. I mean, some are quite different, but ultimately it is working on the same principles. That means how good and structured, I mean, how good and well structured prompt you can write into your input, right? Because that is how your output is dependent on. So there are a lot of prompting techniques: zero shots, few shots, chain of thoughts prompting, tree of thoughts, very powerful, right? I published my research paper on tree of thoughts prompting very recently, right? You'll be able to find it on LinkedIn, right? It got accepted, my paper got published. So very powerful techniques. But as we said, right, as I said, if I go into deep of each one of them, it will take entire 3 hours. I'll give you one technique that works best in 95% of the cases, right? That we call it as magic prompt formula. And for another technique, right, all the other techniques, I will share you a resource in the chat so that you can refer it, right? I'll give you example of this magic prompt formula, which works quite well for 95% of the task. And for the remaining, I'll share it with you. Right. For example, let's take and understand with the example the how the magic prompt or how does the instruction matters, right? Our task is simple. We have to get an email to invite our 10K subscribers to this workshop, right? Let's see practically, right? How does the input changes the output? So if I just type a simple task, draft an email to invite my 10K subscribers, though I have more than 30, right? So I'm just taking examples, right? Let's say I want to invite my 10K subscribers for Gen AI workshop. Simple. The error, or I would say the problem with models, right? Problem, I will not even call it as a problem. The nature, right? The nature of these models are they are predictive in nature. You just understood. You just understood the 5 step process. If I ask something, model is predicting based on the probability, right? I got a subject, I got this workshop, what you will attend, what you will learn, how to register, and this part. How much will you rate this email? Because I wanted an email, I got an email out of 10 saying that 10 is the best and 1 is the worst. How would you rate this prompt out of 10? Quickly in the chat, right? I would rate personally maximum 1 or 2. How would you rate? Okay, I can see 5, 4, 3, 1, 2. Right? This is the example of bad prompt, right? This is very bad prompt. Now ask the question to yourself why it is bad, right? I can see a lot of people giving high score also. 3 because it does the work. Absolutely, right? It does the work. Akhil is saying it does the work, but it is an example of bad prompt, right? The reason is model will never ask you questions. That's the nature, right? Because that's the probability. I have just given this. Model have not clarified that, hey, Divij, you want to invite 10K subscribers, but can you tell me the date when this workshop is happening? Can you tell me what all tools we will be covering in Gen AI, right? Because Gen AI is so vast, right? If this workshop is 2 hours, what is the duration of this workshop? No question. Nothing, right? It has given me and it has just inserted a placeholders, right? Time you can input, duration, platform. Still good. Okay, I can take two or three, right? I also myself given two, but it has not asked me anything, right? Why to attend, right? What topics we will be covering? Nothing. Who is this workshop for? First of all, right? I am organizing this workshop. Is it for engineers? Is it for marketeers? Is it for generalist AI, right? What we are targeting? Nothing it can ask me, or it doesn't ask me any follow up. It will start giving me the output. That is the example of how the model works at the back end, right? It's a probability. But what if now the magic prompt formula, right, which has a structure to it, right? What does the magic prompt formula looks like? It has this kind of a structure to it, which I'll be doing a live demo. It should have your context, task, instruction, and data. This you can have as a placeholder. And now if I go and do it live, right, I already have my prompt with me, and you will see the output in a very short duration now, right? See how I am starting. Task is again the same. Can you write an email to invite my 10K subscriber for this Gen AI workshop, right? By Outscope. Now you see, right? I have given the role itself in the first line. You are an experienced email copywriter who have written for the brands like Ogilvy, right? This is very, very, very important, right? One key takeaway, right? As you said, you will be investing your entire day today about learning a lot of things in Gen AI. The first and the foremost thing I want you to take a note is always start your prompt with defining the role for the that particular thing, right? Reason, just think of it when there are no LLMs, once there were no LLM, right? If I want to get learning how to write best email copywriting, I would have done the same thing, right? Just a second. Right? I would have done the same thing, right? Best email copywriting tips, tricks. Let's say I am in the 2018. I don't have any large language model. I don't have any chat GPT. I would have searched on the internet. I got these articles, right? By WordStream, by Ogilvy, by McKinsey, MailModo, 8 best email tips, HubSpot, right? What are the 7 plus best ways to write an email to any person or any company? Same thing I am doing it, right? You know now Chat GPT or any other LLM has been trained on everything on the internet. So it might be a chance that all these big brands have written some good blogs on email copywriting, right? So role definition, right? You are my startup buddy, you are my health fitness coach, you are my mentor. Anything you can do, you just start with your role and then your context, right? This is all the context, right? Who is this workshop for? We have all the audience which is 25 plus. We are targeting all the product folks, right? Marketing, tech, design, how the workshop will be helpful for them. Talk about the interesting things, that the hacks and the tools, right? And we have entire context dump into my prompt. Now it is knowing what is the main purpose of this workshop. It has the good catch hack, right? Or you can say hook, right? We are thrilled for the 2 day mastermind. We have, let's say, web of names coming in, right? Who, why you should join, right? For designers, for marketeers. So now you know I got a well structured output compared to my previous response via this magic prompt formula, which talks about getting the role, the context, right? The starting with the role, then the one liner task, the instruction or context, and anything else you feel relevant for the model, right? That is how my any good prompting technique works. And we call it as magic prompt formula. So always start with role, task, context, instructions or format, how you want the format to be coming in. These are your mandatory things, right? And for the remaining of the things, right, remaining techniques, because there are plenty of them, I told you I'll share you one guide in the chat so that you can refer it. Uh, Prompt Guide AI, so that you can refer or you have at least one resource specifically for looking at different prompting techniques, right? These are also very powerful. Chain of thoughts, tree of thoughts, right? As I told you, right, we published one new research paper using tree of thoughts for anomaly detection, and these are all backed by a great researcher, right? This is not something coming out of the blue. These are all backed by Google DeepMind. All the researchers have published, so it's a very good resource, right? Just learn 4 or 5, max 6 prompting techniques. I'll just share it in the chat for everyone so that you can refer it later, not right now, right? So let me quickly post. Uh, I think it is by default host and panelist. Maybe Funny can share. I've just shared it,
Yeah.
right? So this is, yeah, Funny can you can share to everyone, right? This is how we are learning now. It is the two techniques, right? I mean, how the LLM works at the back end, and we have already seen the first prompting technique, which is a magic prompt formula. That is how to deal with this model better, right? So this is how now on a very high level we know the 5-step process and how to deal with these models by writing a quick set of instructions, right? The magic prompt formula, role, context, task, as well as your instructions. Now, again, we are going into the third phase of our understanding, right? So dealing with the model is fine, but next question which I usually face is which model to choose when. There are tons of models, right? You have all these major large language model, you can say companies or players, right? You might have heard about ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Copilot, which is coming from the Microsoft, right? Grok from the XAI, right? All these companies, and you have lot of these models, right? The best thing that ChatGPT did is removed all the models and came up with a single model GPT-5 with thinking mode and the other modes. Earlier, it was very much confusing for the user. You have GPT-4o, you have O Mini, you have O3. So you have all these models which are, I mean, given by these companies, but which model to choose for which task, right? That is what we will be discussing now. But before that, can you guess how many large language model out there in this world right now? Right? I'll do a live check in front of you. But how many models? Only large language model. Only large language model. No images, no audio, nothing. Okay, I can see 500, 1,000, plus, 400, 500. Okay, all the people who are guessing near to 500, right? 500 is the correct answer. We can check it live, by the way, right? Uh, how many models out there, and then we will see few websites where we can try these models also, right? So I'll go to Open Router, right? Open Router is a website where you can find most of the LLMs, and I can check the number, right? If I go to the text part of it, I can see only text model, which is 554 models, right? So we have these many large language model, which is only for language related tasks, right? All this is text based, no images, nothing else. But I have all this combining open source and the paid ones, right? Open source means they are free to use, and these are the other ones, right? Now, how you can select the best one? You can check out the rankings. You can go to different set of benchmarks, right? For coding related, for different, you can say leaderboard. You can come up with your first top 10, right? Categories, different, you can say benchmarks that these models are, right? Like programming, which are the best model for programming, for the tools, right? Images. So all of this, you can still do it, but the best way is get the top 4 or 5 selected, right? Let's say I selected top 3, top 5 models. Then you can compare it yourself, right? So I have one tool to compare, which is this. You can call it as multi, right? So app.multi, getmulti.ai. You can just sign it up where I can try multiple models and get the answer, right? So let's say I want to try GPT 4.1 mini, I want to try Llama, I want to try, and it is a combination of both open source and closed source. I want to try, let's say, DeepSeek also, right? Let's say 3 models. I have selected 3 models. Now I ask, what is A B testing in probability, right? I'm just asking any random question. If I go, it will be simultaneously running all the three models with the same query, right? You can see the response. Uh, if you can see the output from all the three, I think I have to refresh it. Right, you will see the output from all the three models and you can compare it by your own what is happening, right? I got from the two. I think DeepSeek is not correctly responding right now, but you can have two models, three models, all of that coming in, and you can compare the response and select the best one for yourself, right? So this is where you can try first getting the top four or top five, at least for your one of the tasks that okay, I am solving a coding related problem. Am I solving the reasoning related problem? Which models are best for me? And you can try that using this particular tool. But again, right, if I want to distinction that there are two types of model, one is the normal LLM and one is the another type, which is we can call it as the reasoning model, right? All the platforms, you go to Claude, you go to Grok, have these two distinctions. Sometimes it is called as thinking model, right? Reasoning and thinking call the same. When to use normal chat gpt, or you can say without thinking, and when to use with the thinking or the reasoning model, that is what we want to learn now, right? So you can see OpenAI right now, you will not be able to see any of these models. It was way back, I would say 6 months back, it was plenty of model which was quite confusing for the user, right? You have O3 mini, you have O3 mini high, O1, O1 mini. Within the Gemini, you have Gemini Flash and Gemini Pro. Pro is your thinking model. DeepSeek. DeepSeek is the first model which you can say ignite the spark of the reasoning model, right? It was the first model which came with the reasoning capabilities, and it shook the entire Silicon Valley once it was out, right? So I'll show you DeepSeek also. But you have all these models, and the major categorization that you can have is reasoning versus non-reasoning models, right? So let's see one task, and you will get to know when to use reasoning models, when not to use reasoning models, which are the best ways where the reasoning model should be applied, right? So I'll use, let's say, Chat GPT and DeepSeek, right? I'll just use the without thinking mode just to show you, right, what happens without thinking, right? I'll not invoke thinking mode by default, right? I'll not do it specifically so that we can compare. And instant, right? I'll go into the instant mode. I don't want a thinking mode because I want you to compare the output when it comes to thinking versus non-thinking. A thinking model output, but yeah, let me open DeepSeek also, and I'll show you the reasoning model in the DeepSeek as well. Right? I think I have been logged out, so I can sign in. Okay, let's go through the prompt also once and understand. Let me log in, because you will see a clear cut difference when to use reasoning for what kind of task, which are most complicated ones, and when to use without reasoning models also, right? I don't know, some time is being taken. Okay, perfect. Right, same query I will type in here also, and I'll go with you step by step what was my input query over here also, right? So let me post it, same query, and we will see the output in DeepSeek. First, let's cover on the Chat GPT, right? So I'll just put it here, and let's see and understand the kind of question or input that I want to ask, why it is well suited for reasoning task, right? So let's go one by one. I have rupees 10,000 to invest along with laptop internet for 30 days, right? This is my first constraint that I have given to the model, that I have only 10,000 rupees. I have a laptop and internet for 30 days. I want to start a home based business that operates entirely online without me requiring to step outside. Second constraint, right? It should be home based only. Third constraint, right? Just count how many constraints we are introducing so that you can understand the complexity of this prompt. please provide me three business ideas, right? I just want top three ideas, each with the detailed plan how to grow my investment from rupees 10,000 to 100,000, right? 100K, which is 1 lakh, within 30 days, right? You can imagine within this line itself, I have lot of constraints which model has to take care of, right? So this is example of very complex prompt. It should be laptop. I should only have internet, just 30 days without me stepping outside. I need only top three ideas to grow my investment from this to 100K within 30 days. Now again, right? More constraints. The business should not be service based, right? Eliminated all the ideas which model was thinking out of the service base. Since I have no coding skills, it must be achievable without writing a code. All my code heavy SaaS based products are out, and it should not rely on running any ads, as I have no experience in ad management, right? So you can imagine model has to take care of lot of constraints before giving me the output. And that is the reason my normal, right, if I see my normal models, it is just using whatever comes as the predictive capability of the model, right? Model is not thinking through all the different permutations and combinations of ideas which it can come. That is the main reason when to use reasoning model, right? I don't know whether it is abiding to all my constraints, right? Drop shipping via Shopify, whether it's service based, not service based, whether it requiring me to run any ads, no, or just do organically, right? Though it is giving me all the things, but I still doubt my response will be 90% correct. I will not say 95% correct, right? So it has given me top three ideas, but I don't know whether it's true or not. Whereas if the same query you ask on the DeepSeek or any other reasoning model, right? So model will think through all the possibilities, right? Uh, okay, I think I have to invoke this deep think. Again, I'll go here, right? Without deep think, it will not go into a thinking stage. And when you invoke thinking stage, right? Model is breaking down your task into different small buckets, which we call it as, by the way, this is nothing but your chain of thoughts, right? This is same as your chain of thoughts, breaking down your complex task into different steps. And these steps are nothing but your chains, right? That is where you call it as chain of thoughts. And by default, all the reasoning models, right, by default all the reasoning model have this chain of thoughts, right? Now you can see that model is breaking down that user wants 10,000 to 1 lakh in 30 days, purely online, product based, without coding, without ads, and stepping outside, right? So it is reiterating, it is thinking through, and then giving me the responses, right? So it has evaluated most of the ideas, and whatever ideas it is giving me in the output is much research and well suited with all the plan that I have gotten before giving me the output, right? So all the major players, if you see, right, all the major players have this kind of a distinction, right? When you see, you have flash model, you have the reasoning math and code model, right? So this is the major distinction you will find in all the platform. You go to Claude, you go to your Chat GPT, you go to DeepSeek, any platform you go, you have these two capabilities, reasoning versus non-reasoning, right? So now if I ask or give you the clarity when to use reasoning model, whenever you have a task where thinking is required, right? Where you want model to think through all the possible directions and then give you the output, you should go with the thinking state, right? Similarly, if I go in Chat GPT also, right? Chat GPT also now provides three modes, right? Now they don't have any other model. Now they have the I mean, they don't have O1, O3, O4 kind of a thing. They have these modes coming in the picture now, right? When you want to use you can set it to auto also. But when I want to do a thinking, model will be going in a thinking state before giving me the output, right? So it has to go, I mean, at the back end, it is going into the thinking state and it is going and searching and then giving me the output. So when to use thinking is, oops, right? So when to use thinking is when the model needs to think through different possible direction, and then you want an output, use the thinking model. when it's a very simple task, right, where you want just email draft, right, where you want an email output, use the normal model, right? Because there is no thinking required. If I'm saying just draft me an email for this particular reply, just summarize this document. So for all non-heavy tasks where their constraints are very much less, use the normal model. And when you have a very detailed constraint oriented task, use the reasoning models so that you get the better output, right? So that's the distinction. So far you understood how the LLM works, right? The five-step process, all the way from tokenization, embedding, your self attention, prediction, to your response generation. Then we saw one prompting technique, which was the magic prompt formula. Start your prompt with the role, task, context, and have a instructions. You will get a much better output. And finally, we just saw what are the two different types in the entire LLM space, right? There are more than 500 models. I cannot, and you cannot go and try all the 500 ones. We will select the top four, top five, try our own input, try to check whether the output is correct or not, or which is giving the better outputs. And finally, we can use something, the two distinction, when to use reasoning models and when not to use, right? So these were all the capabilities what we have discussed so far. And now we are going one step ahead, that these models are capable of doing videos and text too, right? So I'll be showcasing you one example, that let's say you are given a task that you want to generate an image or a video for any of your event, and the deadline, right? The task here is, the deadline is get me that in 10 minutes, right? I'm not going into the whole science of how to create a stunning ads, how to create stunning AI videos using all the frameworks, right? The JSON prompting or the different Clang, VO3. I will showcase you VO3, but there is a whole science, right? How to get your script, how to use these models, which you have a dedicated session after my session, right? You have that dedicated session. We will be deep diving inside the media side of things, how to use these different video generation models, right? Specifically Higgsfield, you have Kling AI, you have Runway ML. All these are very good at generating stunning AI videos. But what I am showcasing you is the possibilities of AI, right? The same model, the same chat GPT, the same Gemini. I'm not going into any other specific tool which is only video related. So my use case here in this slide is, you got a task from your manager, from your company, or maybe it's a personal, right? You have to throw a birthday party or baby shower or your child birthday, anything. You want to send a quick WhatsApp poster or a video or invitation into your family group. How you can make use of AI very quickly and get it done in just 10 minutes. That's the use case that I'm picking it up, so that I can show you that these models are capable of generating good, stunning graphics as well as video, right? Old method, you have to have some graphic designer knowledge or tool knowledge, but now I just need to type a prompt and get this done, right? So, for example, I'll take a hackathon, because recently only in my company, since I am very much enthusiastic in participating hackathons, we organized a hackathon, 1 week hackathon that was, and we wanted to send an intimation to entire our org. We created a poster very quickly by just typing in, right? So I'll just show you one example, and the very good model to use is, you can use normal chat GPT also, right, which is free image tool, plus Gemini also, right? I'll show you both. Create a stunning, or let's say I'm just doing it live in front of you, just to get in under 10 minutes both the things, right? Create a poster, right? Create a hackathon poster for the event having AI sci-fi theme, right? Having sci-fi theme. uh the event details are as follows, right? I want to give the email event details, right? Event name is Hack 2.0, date Let's take any date, right? Let's say it is on 2nd November 2025, right? Use stunning visuals to grab the audience. Right, just I'm giving one line. I'll give the both the same prompts, right? I've just given two things here. I'll just use the image creation tool of the very famous Gemini Nano Banana. It can generate the images. Same thing, you can do it on the Chat GPT also, right? Uh, right, you can do it on the images side, right? Create image, and you can just give the same prompt, and you can use the GPT uh, 5 itself for creating these posters, right? Or you have a dedicated one, Sora, also, which I'll be just showcasing you for the video. But it is mostly without text poster, you can generate it quite well. But when you have to generate some event, right, you have some information to be passed on to that image, use at least Gemini, or you can use the Chat GPT, right? You can see that the Gemini poster is already here. Hack 2.0, a sci-fi hackathon, date 2nd November 2025. Build the future, code the universe. Right. So now if I have to have my logo, my company name, all of that you can pass in the detail in your prompt without having any graphic skills or any graphic tool, you can generate these images. Right. So I have this hackathon 2.0 AI sci-fi theme, 2nd November 2025, right? Both the posters, at least the minimal task it has done, and you should improve your prompt, and whatever you can add it, you are done with the go, right? Our task is getting things done under 10 minutes, which is both the poster as well as the intro video for our this poster, I mean for this event, right? So now if I want to create a video for the same, right, I can go and create a video as well, right? There is a video, create video with Veo. You can go to a new chat, right? Create, I'll use the same prompt in the Sora as well, just to show you. Create a intro theme video for our hackathon event where multiple people are solving problems sitting in hackathon environment, having multiple screens and brainstorming, let's say, right? The theme is AI sci-fi. Right, I'll copy this prompt and give it a quick to my Sora as well, right? So in the equivalent of Chat GPT is the Sora, right? Sora is the model which used to generate images and videos. It comes with your, you can say, Pro plan. It doesn't come in the 399 plan, but I can generate images, right? I can generate videos similar way what I can do it in the Gemini. Gemini is also free. I think 3 videos per day you can generate it for free. So let it generate it. Since Sora 2 is not available in India, right? So you can just use Sora 1 without I mean you can use the old Sora model only in India. It is yet to come, the Sora 2 within the India, if you're not using any VPN, right? So I can select my pixels, right? 720p, it will be much slower, right? Let's me do that. The duration 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and you can just hit your input, right? So now I will just send this as an input, and model will be starting making this video, right? So it is under the process. I'll come back to it. So the task here was just to get our posters and get our intro video, which I can send to our entire group once you have the, I mean, the event ready, right? So you can send an email where you
if we
have the,
reroute the data stream through the secondary AI core.
That might give us the breakthrough we need.
and the
If we
benefit
reroute,
is you get an audio output also, right? I can mention it. By the way, I would have mentioned what audio you want, what should the model or the AI should speak in the VO3, because it supports the audio. But whereas in Sora, the previous one, right, the earlier model which we are using, doesn't support any audio as of now. And for audio, I have a very different tool which I'll cover towards the end of the session. How can I generate a very specific music for my these kind of videos, right? I'll tell you once we reach on that slide. But how to get a video from both the tools, right? I get from
The data stream through the
VO3
secondary
as well
AI
as the
core.
Sora.
That might give us the breakthrough we need.
Right, you can see the sci-fi setup. A lot of people are working,
If we
different set
reroute
of
the data
screens,
stream through
and we are doing some hackathons, right? You can see that you can generate two more videos. I'm also using this version. So that is the limitation that we have as of now. And let's see if Sora output is there, or I'll come back. I think it's in a queued state as of now. So once it is done, I'll come back and show you the output. Okay, we have the output, right? So you can see that we have two videos or two outputs. This is the first one, right? People are using in a environment setup, a lot of screens are there. And the second one, we have this one, right? Again, a sci-fi theme, a lot of people in a hackathon environment where all are sitting together, some very advanced Jarvis kind of a things are going on, right? Discussing and building something hackathon. And imagine now I have a music in the background which is talking about some intro music to your hackathon. You can send it along with the poster in the email so that you can get maximum registrations for that event, right? So that's where we wanted to show you that the capabilities of the same models have been extended to generate text, to generate images, to generate videos. All three, right? We discussed in the starting that anything, any information can be conveyed in only three ways, and it is doing all three inside one single tool, which is Gemini or ChatGPT. Right? That's the main reason why they have integrated all three, because there is no fourth way to communicate on this planet. And just to give you free alternatives also, right? You can use Grok, but personally, Grok images are not that great compared to ChatGPT or the Gemini ones, right? Leonardo AI is also good, but I think video one also we have generated using Sora as well as the VO3, both we have seen, and that's how the model is capable of doing all the three things. So now we have to start with the AI tool building, our personal toolkit. But before going into that, how is it going so far? Are you really getting the things done? Are you getting a new perspective, right? What AI can do? Just a quick poll check in the chat that yes, you are really excited for the next more part. A quick check in the chat. How is it going so far? Are you really getting the things done for what we have discussed so far? Can I quickly get in the chat? Is the chat is enabled? I don't know.
Yes, the chat is open.
Okay, perfect. Going great, excellent, superb, perfect. Great. So we will take, I mean, lunch break. We don't have any breaks as of now. We'll go at the end, right? So it is just we have to cover everything, right? So just stay tuned. We will be covering at least in maximum 40 minutes more, right? We'll be wrapping it up. And next is very exciting part where we'll be building our own toolkit, right? So I'll just quickly summarize what we have learned till now, right? So till now we have, it will be a quick refresher for all of you, right? So we started off with the definition, right? Definition of generative AI. Why you are calling it can generate the original content. I give you the analogy and example why the definition itself says that now it can generate the original content which it has learned from humans or the internet which we have published it. Then we saw the five-step process, how the model works, and quickly just to summarize, the first step was tokenization, where the model break down your input into different tokens. Then you had your embeddings, where the meaning is coming into the picture, right? The meaning of your each and every word is coming into the picture. Then you have the transformer mechanism, which is known as self attention, right? This is a whole science behind it, but since we cannot go into the mathematical details, but why self attention or what is the significance of self attention is model focus on the input part where it has to give more importance, right? I gave you example of explain me about LLM as if I'm 5 year old, but now you can think it from the prompt engineering perspective also, right? Why the prompting techniques matter is because of your self-attention mechanism, right? Why role is good, right? Model can become or bring that context into the picture because model have this capability to focus on the important part in your input, right? So if I have said you are my fitness coach, model knows that I have to bring the articles or the knowledge which I have learned related to fitness only, right? I don't need to have history knowledge, maths knowledge, science knowledge. I have to only focus on the fitness. And that's the reason we have prompting as well as transformer mechanism, right? Finally, models start predicting it, and it is one prediction at a time, one token at a time, and it happens multiple iterations till I get my response back. Then we just saw how does AI works, right? I mean, the prompting technique, I told you there are tons of prompting technique, and under the hood, it is all English language, right? Now you can imagine the language of these models is English, not Python, right? I'm not writing Python. If you go and see what is chain of thoughts, it's a plain set of instructions, the art of writing instructions in a certain way, which is English. What is tree of thoughts? It is again the plain set of English sentences, how to write an instructions. So these are all my prompting techniques. The one we covered is the magic prompt formula, which has all the context tasks. And then finally, we looked at the major distinctions, right? We have more than 500 models. Don't go with all of them. Get your top five, top 10 models, right? Based on, you can say the accuracy, based on speed, based on cost, all of that you can do it, right? I can tell you one more thing, which you can refer, right? I already showed you Open Router, the leadership board, but this also you can refer it. I mean, this is also a very good part when it comes to selecting the best model so that you can have top five or top 10 with you and you can benchmark it, right? Based on speed, based on price, this one, right? Intelligence. So let's say you come to me and say that, hey, Divesh, I want to build a AI application where I want speed to be maximum. As soon as user asks me, I should get a response under 5 seconds. Right now, ChatGPT also takes sometimes 6 to 10 seconds, maybe 15 seconds to get me a response. But any application you are building, you want it to be very, very, very fast. You can go with the speed, right? How the good tokens, right? Now you can see output tokens per second. Now you know what is tokenization, what are tokens. Higher is the better, right? So I know that Gemini speed is much higher, 259 tokens per second. Price, right? Let's say you come and say, I want the cheapest model to be used. Okay, I have it for you, right? $0.3. If you say I will use Claude, it is the most expensive model for 1 million token, right? You will be spending $30 for 1 million tokens. And whereas your Grok, your GPT is just $0.3, $0.3 for 1 million token, right? So in this way, you can select top four, top five, come to this platform, get multi.ai, click on new chat, add your top five models, whatever you have narrowed down, right? Just whatever you have narrowed down, which are available, right? Which are available here, just select it. I think I'll go to new chat, right? You just select the models. Let's say GPT. Okay, let me refresh it. Okay, somehow I'm not able to see it. Maybe something update is happening, right? But yeah, you saw the output, right? We have compared GPT 4.1, Llama 3.1 mini or Llama 3.2. So come compare your output manually, right? This you can do for, let's say, 2, 3 tasks. Give us some coding problem, give your marketing related problem, and see which model gives you the best output. And finally, to distinguish between two different types of model in all the major platform is the reasoning versus non-reasoning. Use the reasoning model for any code related heavy task, right? Maths related, or when you have a lot of constraints coming into the picture. When you have a very simple task, don't use reasoning models, else you will be utilizing your model tokens much, right? And time also, right? It will be taking more time, and the same models are capable of generating images as well as videos, right? So till here we have done. Now I want to start the last phase of our session, which is building our own AI toolkit, right? Why we need to build this AI toolkit is to make ourselves much more productive and do the work fast, right? So one thing, just think it of, right? I get this question in lot of, you can say, forums, or whenever I go and teach in my students and different people, that all the things were happening before AI also, right? When there was no AI, everything was happening. It's not like that I was not able to do all these tasks as of now. I was able to summarize the document, I was able to translate the document, but was that at this scale? Was at I was saving this much amount of time? The answer is no, right? So the first thing which AI has done to all of us is saving our time. That is the major KPI into all of our lives, that if I use AI, I become more productive. It can help me save time, right? Save time means save money again. But if you compare the cost, then I am not going into that discussion, because you have, I mean, in cost, you can compare the tool cost, subscription cost, human labor cost, all of that comparison is there. But when I take only one benchmark or one metric, which is time, I can 101% say that it helps me save time. No question asked, right? So you agree with me? That is where we are positioning AI, that it is becoming an integral part of our life. And we have handpicked these buckets: productivity, research, slicing and dicing the data, right? Data can be anything. If you're from marketing side, you have campaigns data, marketing data. If you're from HR side, you have HR related churn data, employees data, any data, how you can do a data analysis faster, how you can absorb, learn things faster, and some fun also is there, right? So this is where we are starting with our buckets. Let's look at the first bucket very quickly, which is productivity into AI. First tool that I have is for you is voice AI, that makes all your apps 4x faster. Right? Anything you do, right? Whatever I was typing in Chat GPT right now, I can use this tool, Flow AI. I have specifically left it for this slide. That's why I was not using, just to show you, right? Flow AI. I can quickly show you this one, right? So what it does is, Flow AI, you can speak and it can write it for you. A simple, you can say, dictation app for you, but the accuracy wise, right, or the integration wise, it is very much faster, right? When you are typing, generally this is the stats that you type 45 words per minute, but when I want to speak, I can go up to 220 words per minute, right? So you can install for Windows, for your Mac, anything, right? If you want to see quickly, I can show you, try. Right, so I'll say start dictating. Can you generate a prompt for me for my hackathon event, where I want to instruct LLM that we are organizing a hackathon where I need to have a sci-fi themed poster as well as a video out of it, right? Done. So as soon as, once this is just the demo, right? Once you have downloaded, I can use it across any app, right? You want to draft an email, I am using Chat GPT. Instead of typing in, I will invoke the flow by just pressing the control tab into my keyboard, and it will start listening to me. It will type whatever I want to have, right? So instead of typing in, you can speak, and the accuracy wise, the model is very much accurate. As per my usage, I have found it to be very much accurate, and the model does literally a good job when it comes to transcribing everything that you are saying, right? So you can just press the control hold key and start speaking it. So this is the first tool to increase your productivity, to increase your speed up to 245 words per minute. Use the Flow AI, right? That's the first hack. Let's see the other tools. Right? Summarize the emails and reply to your email instantly. Very common task, plus something which all of us use, Chat GPT or any other tool, right? What usually the process looks like, right? If I get some email, I usually, let's say I have any support related email, right? I have to go and get a draft generated, right? Let's say anything, right? I'm just taking an example. You got anything, right? I just want to go and check it. I want to get a draft of this particular email. I'll copy this, go to Chat GPT and generate a reply. But what is the best way, right? I have this something called, let me go here, right? I have something called Gemini, which can generate a reply within this itself, right? Summarize this email, or if you click on compose button, right? I don't have to go to Chat GPT. I can simply say draft an email to invite 10, that same thing, right? 10K subscribers. So instead of copy pasting, taking your output to Chat GPT, getting a reply, pasting it back like Lord and to and fro, so you can have Gemini itself. If you have already enabled it within the Google Gmail suite itself, you can get this tool done, right? This is one of the main feature where you can draft. Plus, what I like about it is I can summarize the entire long thread of emails also, right? Let's say I want to summarize this email. So what I can do is, if let's say there are 10, 20 emails got exchanged, right now it is four emails, right? Right now it is four emails that I have got from this particular Apple store. Let's say I got a quick summary what happened, right? In each and every mail, and now I can tell it, can you draft me a reply? Right, so you become much more productive, you can say, or much more faster in getting your summarization and reply done within using Gemini itself, right? You can invoke the Gemini or you can use the compose button for your Gmail related task, right? So this is a quick productivity hack, but you can use definitely Chat GPT also or any other tool, but copy pasting will be the manual work. Okay, this is again faster, right? I have this use case for me for at least a YouTube video, right? So I hope all of you watch a lot of great YouTube videos, right? I am personally a fan of Nikhil Kamat's podcast, right? Like the kind of people he brings to his podcast, but they are quite a long, right? So I think Nikhil Kamath podcast, I saw the YouTube one where he brought in the YouTube CEO, right? India CEO YouTube. Uh, YouTube CEO. I'll just type, right, where they discuss how the content is going, right? This one. So they generally have a very long podcast, 1 hour, 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours of podcast. So let's say you are on a quick side, right? You don't have a much time to invest. What I usually do is
Messaging.
I get a quick summary and Q&A on top of these videos inside my Gemini, right? So if I go, I can simply say, I don't know how many of you have tried this earlier. Summarize this video and give it a link so that it can have your summary done, right? So you have this video is a full episode of this, tips to succeed in the YouTube, navigating, and this, all of that, it is coming in. And you can ask a follow-up question also. Have they discussed about monetization policies? Right, I'm just interested in monetization policies, if they are changing. By the way, Google have changed their monetization policies for the AI generated content, right? I get my answer where it is getting generated, right? Even it shows sometimes me the timestamp. I don't know why it is not showing me. Let me try here also, right? Generally, it shows me the timestamp also where it has been discussed. Summarize this YouTube video. Yes. Right. So when it is connected to your YouTube app, right, because it is again coming into the same environment, right? So they show you the timestamp also, that yes, this one, right? This was I was talking about, that where this particular talk was happening, right? So if I want to specifically go and watch only this part, I can quickly jump into this timestamp, right? It has categorized the entire video into different chapters, what it has created. So it helps save you a lot of time, right? Indian creator and AI impact, this was I was talking about. So I want to only getting to know what has been changed, rest everything is fine, this is what is important to me, I can directly go to this timestamp, right? So that is how you can become more productive. And that is the first, I mean, one way of getting your YouTube video summarized using AI tool for free, which is the Gemini. Okay, now the next tool that we have in the productivity bucket is Fireflies AI. I cannot demo it, but I can show you what this is position. I hope might you or some of you might have heard about these tools. I can have these AI coming into my meetings and getting things recorded, listening to each and everything, making notes for me, and making up pointers. What are the action items, right? So, all of this, there are plenty of such tools. I'm just giving you the one tool which came to my mind, which is Fireflies, right? You can add a high quality transcription and recording, and it can be integrated with Zoom, your Google Meet, your any other tool which you use for conducting a meeting, right? Let's say I'm not able to make, or I have a clashing meeting at the same time. So I'll send my Fireflies bot into that meeting, who is listening to each and every conversation, and finally it will summarize it for me. And if someone has taken my name, right, let's say that, okay, we want to discuss this thing with Divij, it will pinpoint and give me the action items as well, right, that you have to take the discussion. So you can imagine you have your personal assistant, which is an AI, which is taking all the notes and all the things for you in that, right? So it's a very great productivity hack. And if you see people who are in CXO and all the leadership level, right, where they have a lot of meetings to attend, all of them are using the AI assistant, right? There are plenty of such apps, but you can definitely check this out, right, based on accuracy, based on all the things, right? So this is one of the great productivity hack if your job involves to attend multiple meetings, right? So Fireflies AI make AI read things for free, right? From images. A lot of people don't know how to use this feature, right? Let me show you very quickly. And same, Chat GPT can do that pretty well, right? If you are using Chat GPT, you can give an image to your Chat GPT, which it can summarize it for you. Uh, Let me quickly bring that image, the same image, right? So a lot of people, right, like once they are using the dashboards, they don't understand. Let's say I'm only using some team, the data team of data analyst has built. I don't have them to be present over here, right? So what I can do is simply ask Chat GPT to explain me about this dashboard, right? Explain me this dashboard. What are top insights I can get, right? So you have your personal AI assistant, which can understand images, which can read through images, and can give you a total summary without you having any particular human or a data analyst to be involved, right? So if it is already built, that means the use case is images are well understood from these tools now. Let's say you have invoice, you can take out the invoice date, amount, right? All those applications which require images to text, you can do it, right? So it is giving me total account receivables, total account payable, what is my equity ratios, depending on the KPIs, right? Like DSO, DPO, days pay outstanding, whatever KPIs I am tracking inside the dashboard, I have a quick summary what is happening, right? Even I can ask a follow-up question. Should I be worried about any KPI? Right? As a business owner, as a leader, right, where I'm tracking all the things, all my financials inside this dashboard, I can ask, right? Concern is while a DPO 28 days isn't immediately alarming, if this number increase significantly over time, it may indicate that the company is delaying payments to suppliers, right? So I can get the health check done very quickly, right? How much seconds, right? Well, less than 30 seconds, I got the entire insights about my this dashboard, where I have AI assistant to explain me. I can go in depth, I can ask a follow-up and all things, right? Even I can create a dashboard also that I'll show you towards the, I would say, end of the session, right? I have one slide where you can use Claude to generate these kind of dashboard also, right? Real time. You just give the image and it can generate a entire dashboard for you, right? Or maybe let me do it in the same time only, right? If I have a Claude, right, you can just give the input, right? The same image. Can you create a real time dashboard like this, right? So it will go and create entire dashboard, right? It will use the programming, it will create a React based dashboard. You can get the code, or you can look at the I mean, rendering output also in the same screen itself. Once it is done, it will take some time. So I'll come back here once it is done. But you can create as well as analyze these images inside a dashboard itself, right? Again, increasing your productivity. And the last one, and my favorite one for the productivity bucket, is how to use AI for preparing for your next interview, right? How well you can use AI to become or make yourself interview ready, right? So this is the best way for every student out there, right? For anything you are trying to switch a job, what are the different steps you can follow? And same tool, your chat gpt, but it follows some sequence. So you need to have this sequence, what I will be doing right now, right? So let me have my prompts. So don't worry about the prompts because you will be getting these prompts later, right? You can get that. So whatever I'm using, and all these are the basic prompts only, nothing fancy as such, right? So now we have to, let's say I want to apply to a new job. How will I use AI now, right? From end to end, from my resume building to my shortlisting to my interview preparation, all things how I will do within the single chat using AI. That's what I want to showcase to you. Right. So let me have my first prompt for this task, right? Because as of now, model doesn't know who I am, right? I have to attach about me. Just imagine that chat gpt doesn't know what kind of projects I have done, what kind of certifications I have done, what is my background, what all skills I have, right? So I need to attach some of my resource to it so that it have some knowledge, right? You can use your actual resume, or you can use your LinkedIn resume as well, right? So this is my LinkedIn resume. If you don't know about LinkedIn resume, you can simply download your LinkedIn profile as a PDF, right? So LinkedIn allows you to do that. If I just show you, go to LinkedIn, go to your profile, there is a resource button, download as a PDF. You can download it, and it simply says your profile is now in a PDF, right? It has everything. So this is your LinkedIn resume, right? It's a quite a long, this is not the actual one which you will apply to the recruiter or any website, right? This is quite a long because it has everything that you have put it on LinkedIn, but it has everything. That means you have a richer context about you, your certifications, if you keep on updating your LinkedIn. I don't know if you are doing so. If you are doing, then it's a good start, or you can upload your resume so that model knows. And now I'll just say you are an expert in data sciences and AI, right? AI, let's say ML and DL, all three, right? Because my background is into this space. You can change it according to yours. I would like you to review this CV and generate a summary that highlights the most impressive parts in the bullet points. Why am I doing this? Because this chat has to have my context, everything about me, what I am doing, what kind of projects I am building at Microsoft, at VMware, all the recommendation system, the co-pilot which we are building, everything it should know in this chart, right? That's where it will have all the things where I want to apply as my next role, what are the gaps and all everything, right? So this is the first step where you give your input, ask it to summarize, and now I will go and apply to some new job, right? I have to search and then make myself interview ready, right? So you can go to any website. So, right, I'll go to LinkedIn only and try to get or fetch some jobs, right? Whichever I want to apply, I want to get the JD. And again, I will use some prompt so that I can get a quick insights, right? And this is really, you should always be using all the people out there whenever you want to apply. And I'll tell you different use cases for this use case also, right? It's not just the job one, you can apply it to different use cases as well. But yeah, let's complete. Okay, I'll go to a job. Let us see the show all button. And let's take this the top one, right? Let's say data science manager. Now I have been into IC role, right, from last 6 years of my experience, right? Working experience, 2 years, VMware, 4 years, Microsoft. So I have now 6 years of experience. I don't know how much experience they require to become a data science manager. right? Still I am in IC role, but I don't have to invest my time in reading this. I'll just copy paste the entire thing, right? This thing, I'll just copy paste this. Again, go to my same chat, right? Same chat. I'll paste this along with my prompt, right? I just making a separate folder, right? So what is the significance of, right? A lot of times people ask me why you created these three, you can say quotes, just to segregate where it is starting and where it is ending, right? So it is starting from here, ending till that point. And now I will have my prompt to be pasted on top of it, where the model will be instructed what it has to do it, right? So let me copy my prompt and go through it alongside you, right? As my career advisor, I would like you to reword my CV, right? The first thing I want to do is getting my CV shortlisting if I am applying to this particular job opening. I have just given you, please tailor it to the following job advert to maximize the chances and getting an interview. Include any keywords mentioned in the job post, right? This is very important. If you know about the ATS, ATS stands for Applicant Tracking System. All your hiring tools, right? All the big companies use ATS to get your resume score against the job description, right? So I want it to be a maximum score. I want it to include everything, organize it, summarize it, and create a full-fledged new resume, which should add this experience, right? Of showcasing that I have led some projects. I have some, let's say, the tools which they are requiring in this particular thing, let's say. So I am just making AI to go through it and reword my resume according to this new job advert. And finally, I will spend some time, right? I'll not go, I have to spend some time. I'll create a Word doc out of it, or I can simply ask it to also create, right? Create a canvas for this resume so I can edit, right? So it can also has the capability. It is connecting to the Canvas app. Okay. Ideally it was, I don't know why it is not having it. Create a resume in Canvas, right? So you can invoke the Canvas as well inside this. Yes, right? So now it will have an editable Canvas window in front of you. A lot of people don't know about this feature. You can have your entire, you can say resume written. You can change line by line. You can update line by line projects, everything you can do via this thing. Why it is creating a image? Okay, something is fishy, right? I wanted to have a canvas. It is generating an image. Strange. Let me try it once more, right? So these are the some challenges with AI also, right? It's not always 100% correct. And create a resume in the canvas. Okay, somehow it is not able to, but once you have the canvas ready, right, you can edit it in the same window. Once you have this entire text coming in, right, whatever it has. So you can imagine now you have reworded your resume, you have your perfect resume, you will go and apply to this particular job opening. And finally, right, finally you have to have your preparation strategy, right? You will be waiting, right? I'll not be getting the results of that particular application in one go, right? So I have to have my preparation strategy. And now I will use again the AI to come up with that strategy because it knows my current skill. What is the requirement in the new job advert, right? So I would like you to create a table with three columns. The first column, experience required. Check out the create a second column where I need to learn or improve and have a priority, right? So it has all the context, right? What job I'm applying to, what are my current skills. Now it can analyze both of things and create a full strategy, full plan for me. How should I go about learning and applying to this job, right? So this is my second last step. And after this, I'll just go one step to have my things done, right? So this is my entire, you can say, table which it has created as per the JD, right? Experience in leading a team of data scientists, which is highest priority because my resume doesn't talk about leading a team, right? Because I'm still working as an IC, which is individual contributor. No one is reporting to me. So that is the experience that is required for this, right? Experience in building e-commerce product based companies. My resume doesn't talk about anything related to e-commerce, right? VMware was an IT company or SaaS software company. Microsoft is a software company, right? So that is where it is doing a very good job for me, right? At least I can add personal projects related to e-commerce industry, that the strategy that I can make, what they are looking for, optimization techniques, the Bayesian inferencing, all of that is important. So I will have this learning done, right? Take the online courses. It is suggesting me also from where I can take, right? Take the online courses on the stochastic system, Bayesian inference. So I get my entire strategy done with using AI, how to get things done, right? All my rewording of resume and my preparation strategy. And let's say that I prepared on these strategy, I'm done with my preparation. I want to test before going into a real interview, right? So I've applied, now I've got a call. I will schedule a mock interview with an AI, and that's the best feature I like about, right? So I'll just show you a quick demo so that all of you can utilize this feature of voice AI within the same chat, right? It has all the context. So I will just start it here itself. Hey ChatGPT, I'm feeling prepared for this interview. Can you ask me one question at a time and give
I'm
me your
sorry,
feedback?
but I'm having trouble responding right now. Please wait a bit and try again.
Okay. I think it was not able to let me try one last time. I think something is down here, but yeah, let me try. Hey ChatGPT, I'm feeling prepared for this interview. Can you ask me a few questions and we can
I'm
go?
sorry, but I'm having trouble responding right now.
Okay. Let me refresh it once and have this. Hey ChatGPT, I'm feeling prepared for this interview. Can you ask me questions one at a time?
I'm sorry, but I'm
No,
having
I
trouble
think something
responding
is
right
down.
now. Please wait a bit and try again.
I think seems like GPT is down today.
Yeah, maybe I can try in the app, right? Sometimes it happens in the web app, you cannot see, but yeah. Uh, Maybe let's try if it is working in the app version of it since I have downloaded it. Maybe we can try that just to show you, since it knows me. Hey ChatGPT, I'm feeling prepared for my upcoming interview in the Flipkart as a data science manager. Can you ask me some questions based on my profile and give me a feedback?
Absolutely, I'd be happy to help with that. I'll ask you a few questions that typically come up for a data science manager role, and then we can go over your responses. Let me know if there's any specific area you'd like to focus on as well. Let's get started.
So they are requiring my experience in terms of leading a project. So what all questions you can ask me in that, and I can answer you so that you can evaluate my response.
Got it. Here are a few questions we can dive into. One, can you walk me through a data science project that you led from inception to deployment? Follow up, what were the key challenges you faced and how did you overcome them? Two, how do you prioritize tasks and
Right, so you got a gist, right? So once you're done, since it was not having any prior context in this window, right? We did on the web browser version 1, right? So here it is not working, but similar way you can have, and it has all the context, all the priority, right? What you were preparing for, right? It knows that you have to prepare for Bayesian inferencing. It will ask you question on these topics. because we are doing everything in the same chat, right? So that is something how you can use entire workflow to make yourself prepare for your next interview and get things done, right? So this is the very major hack you can imagine. Every student should do it. And as I told you, right, you can apply to different field also. Let's say you want to pitch your idea to some investor, make that chatbot as an investor, or you can say your Shark Tank kind of an environment, right? Where the chatbot is grilling you on your idea, can ask you potential questions, and you're interviewing, debating with it once it has all the context about it, right? So that's the sequence of workflow, how you can use it for your next interview, right? I hope that was very much clear how to get it, and that was something new you have seen the entire workflow. Just quick check in the chat that how was it, or maybe a thumbs up would also work. Perfect. Great, right? So now again, going into our last tool for the productivity bucket, right? We have is food.ai, which is mostly suited for all the related things where you want to edit an image, right? This is the tool food.ai. Anything you are doing with your ad generation, image generation, right? Creatives, basically your creatives, you can use your this tool food.ai. They have all the AI tools, right? AI image extender, product photo shoot, background replacer, photo enhancer. You can see, right? You can see the category, your object remover. So instead of prompt, they have just created a specific app for just this part, right? So if I click on AI product photo shoots, you can try with your own image. You can use these which they are giving you, and you can have, right? Let's say I want to have this bag, so it will create a stunning studio related photos for this product by just giving a single prompt, and you have a 4 different options, right? So you can add everything, right? You can have everything. So you can just give a prompt that this bag is placed on some beach, right? So I've just given some random thought, and now it will take your product photos or images and create a professional e-commerce ready photo shoot images for yourself, right? So you can remove the background and do a lot of great stuff out there. And till the time it is running, I think I can show you our dashboard if it is ready. We just instructed to make a dashboard. Okay, create a real time dashboard. I don't want any explanation. So generally start coding. Yes, right. So it is now coding, and it can generate this financial dashboard, right? And generally it renders it as well inside this window. But yeah, let's see if it is able to render it or just give me the code once it is done. Let's see, right? So yeah, this is our 4 different outputs you can have, right? You can mention more details, right? How the bag to be placed and all that part. You can have, right, different set of images. You can have output generate more. You can click on that and it will generate more based on your idea, right? So anything related to photos or manual editing, you want to add the text, all of these things you can do, plus the plenty of AI tools that comes, right? So you can remove the background, enhance all of that. You can try it out with your existing images, right? You just upload very simple UI and try it out for all the different use cases, which is again increasing your productivity without going into the Photoshop or any other tool such things. Right now, the next one, building distribution with the AI, right? How you can be much more productive, or you can say you are building your profile, your network, and you can generate some leads out of the AI, right? Using your network, right? So grow LinkedIn, right? I hope everyone uses LinkedIn and you post a lot of great things on LinkedIn. What is the best tool to research and get a viral post, right? So the one tool you can use is the Social Sonic, right? Social Sonic, once you are logged in, You can generate from scratch, right? I can generate any post from the scratch, create with AI by just giving the topic, writing style, right? Categories, what is the length I want, right? How the post category should look like, career milestone, educational content, and such that this is one way building something from scratch. But I like this feature the most, right? Top post trending this month, right? I want to see what was the top trending post by, I mean, the people who are into my niche, right? NLP, AI. If you are a marketer, you will be looking at the marketing domain, or let's say related to product management, anything, whatever your niche is, right? I want to see what people are posting or what kind of post are getting more engagements, right? So ChatGPT first brand campaign on humanity, right? This got how many likes? This got 4.4K likes, right? This is something update announcing some new AI course, right? Generally, AI courses get a lot of great, you can say, number of likes, right? Learn how to build. So let's say I want to publicize this only, right? Let's say I want to publicize this only. I can just simply say remix, and it will go and create a full new post which is on the similar themes, but according to my theme, right? Or my writing style and all, right? So this is the topic. It has already taken, I will say, it should be an educational content, right? I am just posting educational, length should be medium, and click on create. Now it will create a LinkedIn post for me. I can simply publish it now and it will go live onto my LinkedIn, right? I can generate images along with that. I can generate cross-sells post and can make it quite faster and automate my LinkedIn using this tool, right? So the meantime it is writing. Uh, Okay, I can see our dashboard is also almost ready, right? It can see the render. Yes, right. So financial management dashboard, all your ratios are live. So let's say you connected to your real-time data now, right? I have just given a screenshot. And once you connect your original data, these will keep on updating and you can see your live updates in your charts, right? You can just get all these things. You can download this code, right? This is code ready. This is how it is rendering. It has created using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, but you can download this, deploy your own code, or you can render it with just an image. So whatever good dashboard you saw, right, you can get a similar inspiration or the similar KPI things to be integrated, right? All the charts are already there. You can adjust where to fit in and all that part, right? And let's see, our post is ready. Yes, right. So this is our post now. Building an AI assistant sounds daunting, right? It's Google ADK, right? We are talking about Agent Development Kit, which was just released a few days back by the Google, right? Using agent to agent framework. And you have the entire post ready, and I have a 3 different version of it. And you can simply publish it once you click on publish, right? So it is connected, got connected to your LinkedIn, getting posted in a live, right? I mean, you just connect your LinkedIn, you are getting posted in a real time. So that is again how you can have your LinkedIn to be automated. Right. Next task. The next task or the bucket that we have is research AI, right? We want to do lot of researches on different topics. What are the best tools about it, right? Gemini Deep Research as well as ChatGPT Deep Research do a very good job. In fact, your Perplexity also did a very good job. And this is different from your normal ChatGPT responses, right? These are the deep researches. If you go, you can see the deep research feature. It is not the similar one. You have a separate one, right? Deep research. It will create a plan for you, right? So let's say I want to get me top small cap and mid cap mutual funds which has consistent CAGR of 15% plus from last 3, 5, and 10 years time frame, right? Any complex query you give, it will go and create a plan for you and then do a research, get back results after. You can say maybe it can take 10-20 minutes also, right? Same way you can do it in your Gemini also, right? Gemini deep research, it has to go back, right? It will bring back, it will have a plan ready. I don't know why it is not doing it in the web app, right? Something is down in the web app today, at least for this account. It has to create a plan and then go into your this activity. Maybe I can check it here, right? Earlier that tool also was not working. So deep research, right? So it generally creates a plan, yes, right? So now to help you understanding, uh, are you looking for the mutual fund for specific country? Yes, India. Hey, do you have a reference? It should be direct funds, not the regular funds. Should I have funds to be open for retail investor? Yes, for retail investor. Right, so anything, right? Any important decision, let's say buying a insurance, the best comparison to do, right? I have to refer tens of website, but I don't want to, right? This one, right? I'll get back to you shortly after a detailed report. So now it is doing a great research for me. It will take 15-20 minutes. I'll come back to the output, but that's where you use your deep research feature whenever you want to compare and get a complete technical depth analysis, not just on the surface level, but onto the in-depth level of your tool, right? So that is where you can utilize the deep research feature, right? Gemini also have a similar thing. You can have a Gemini deep research coming in, and so on. You can have a different set of modes coming in, right? Tools, you can have a deep research. So you can invoke a deep research and ask a similar query. It can do a similar thing for you, right? So this is done. Whenever you want to do any extensive research, you can do it. And for doing or posting it on the LinkedIn, right? Let's say I generally post and updates what is happening. I want to get a very concrete top AI. You can use Perplexity also, right? Perplexity is not your large language model, to be very specific, right? It is kind of a search engine which is connected to lot of your great models, right? So if I see the models part, uh, right, pro is enabled, research is enabled, search is enabled. I have a different set of models, right? You have finance related, all these tools are there. And where is the model section? The labs, 50 queries in a month, right? Research, okay, tab, choose a model, right? This one, yes. So you have all the models which are they are supporting, and by default it is on the best mode, right? So now if I say get me top 5 AI news that came this week and are really worthy talking about it, create a LinkedIn post with hook and CTA. Right. So I'm deliberating my task, giving my task to the AI researcher, right? Whose job is to first read the news, get the top 5, right? Go and do the search on different articles, get all the reading done from different resources, right? So in the this within this time, it has already referred to 18 such resources about the AI news, get it read, and finally creating a context ready 5 AI news plus the LinkedIn post for me, right? So how you can again generate something based on research and getting things faster. Again, doing a deep research versus perplexity research, that's a major difference because it the resources it refers to, right? These are quite authentic one. I generally don't prefer the resources of chat gpt. The reason is it refers to Reddit and Wikipedia, which are not authentic in most of the use cases, right? So if I just show you the live example, uh, anything, right? What happened in recent India Park face off, right? We know India Pakistan face off happened very recently. So this information is not with the chat GPT. The reason is the cutoff knowledge is June 2024. After 2024, it doesn't have any information. It has to do a web search to get this information. And most of the times, the one of the resources is the Wikipedia, right? It refers to Wikipedia most of the times. And that is the biggest concern for me. I don't want my model to refer Reddit or Wikipedia, right? Because these are community driven, anyone can write anything. So that is the reason when it comes to authentic search, I prefer Perplexity for that, right? The resources are quite a good ones, right? But when it comes to a deep research, you can go with ChatGPT or Gemini deep research, all of these things, right? So still it is running. It will take 20-30 minutes once you see the output, right? Because it has to compare and do all the great details. So it has already referred to 31 sources. You can actually see those also, right? And the sidelines, what it is referring to, what it is actually doing. But it will take around 20 minutes to get your things done. So I'll show you the results once we are completely done with the deep research feature. Perfect, right? So now Perplexity is done. Okay, researching about a person, right? There is a one tool I recently explored, right? I was also not aware. So very recent tool happenstance where you can get a person research done, right? Any person, you just type a name and you can search it. So I don't know how many of you know KVS Dilip, right? He heads, he's part of Outskill only, right? So he takes a lot of great sessions inside the community. So I just mentioned his name that can you tell me about KVS Dilip, right? It has went on to summarizing different sources where he can find the details about this person, right? His GitHub profile, his Google Scholar profile, his Notion document also, if it is publicly live, his LinkedIn, all of that, and I got his entire details done, right? Similarly, I searched for Divish Bajaj, right? I mean, who is working at Microsoft. Though one thing is wrong, right? Founder of Power Gummies. This is not me, by the way, right? This is some else, some other Divish who is the founder of Power Gummies, right? But everything else is correct, right? So apart from this, I don't know why it has taken this also because the name is similar. I think that's why it is taking. So this person is someone else who owns this brand, Power Gummies, right? So this is not me. This is someone else. But this happenstance has taken this as well into consideration. Rest everything you see, every all the details, my educational summary, University of Hyderabad, my masters, everything is perfectly correct. Even my papers are getting displayed and all of that part, right? So it can search through all the different sources and get you the summary of any profile, any person if you want to get it done, right? So sometimes it is useful whenever you want to do it, but yeah. Now let's see the slicing and the dicing of the data, which is how we can become a data analyst using some good AI tools, right? One way is, I think the best way people have used is upload your CSV or any data file onto ChatGPT, right? But the limitation is the data privacy, right? If the data is confidential, the numbers are confidential, you should not upload it on the open platform. That's the reason, right? So if I go and tell you one of the safest way and within the Excel, within your Excel is Numerous AI. This is the tool which you can utilize, which is very much Excel friendly. Plus, data privacy wise, they are saying they cannot see your data, right? It is the Chat GPT for your Excel and sheets, right? And if you are on the enterprise plan, then you have the Microsoft Copilot already, right? So that requires you the enterprise license. If you already have that, that is again the best tool for Excel. But if you are an individual contributor, if you are a startup, right? If you are a solo entrepreneur, you have a single tool called Numerous AI, which is very powerful when it comes to operating with your sheets and doing that much, right? So this tool, I'll show you all of that privacy policy. You can read that they cannot see any of your data. It is already hidden. It's already encrypted and all that part, right? So you can definitely refer to it. But just to quickly show you, right, how to add this, you go to any of your tool, right, or any of your Google Sheets or Excel sheets, go to extension tab, click on add-on, click on get add-ons, and you can simply search for Numerous AI, right? I can search for Numerous AI. It can go back, search you, give you the extension, click it, enable it. I have already installed. And once you have installed, I can just show in the sidebar and you can see something like this in your browser, right? In your same Excel file, right? So now you can ask to generate a formula, you can generate new columns, you can do a lot of great things. I can demo one or two just to showcase you, right? So for example, I created this new column, right? So I created this new column called sentiment. This is, by the way, Amazon reviews dataset, which I have taken or scrapped for the Epigamia product, right? These are all the actual reviews, actual customer reviews on the Epigamia product, right? This is the product link also. You can refer or you can see to it, right? This is the actual product, Epigamia Natural Greek. You have a lot of great ratings. So these are actual reviews which people have given and fed it. We have fetched it from the tools, right? There are a lot of Amazon reviews tools. You can just Google search. Apify is the one where you can refer it and get it done. So I want to get a quick sentiment analysis done. And how easy is it? You just need to click on sentiment analysis, analyze the sentiment of the, what is the column name, right? My column name is review description. I'll just give this name to it, which is present in which column, right? It is present in M. And I want to have it category wise positive, negative, or let's say neutral, right? All of things you can do it and place your results in particular cell, right? N17. And as soon as I click on this, it will generate a entire formula, which is this one, right? Now it is generating it. It will generate equals to, which is very much similar to what we used to run in any Excel file. NAI stands for numerous AI. English instruction, classify the sentiment of the review description as one of the following: positive, negative, and so on, right? So now if I just drag and drop, it will keep on giving me the outputs like how we use ChatGPT or any other Excel file, right? So I'll just keep drag and dropping. It is predicting real time what is this sentiment looks like, right? So you can generate the formula, you can explain, you can ask it to generate, right? I want to extract domain names from column L. Give me formula for this, right? I hope all of us don't remember all the Excel formulas, right? I don't use Excel much. I don't remember these formulas, but I can type in, I got this formula, right? This is present in column L. I can use this and I have my entire thing done, right? I can create a new column here, insert one column at the left. You have domain names. Let's say you have product to be sold in multiple things, right? Multiple countries and all that part. So I just wanted to have uh, this formula coming in, and it should ideally extract me the domain name, right? Okay, it is asking me what all I have. So L1, let's say to L2, just for a second, right? Okay, I have copied it completely, right? Generally, it works. Hmm, I can say this is not working. To have just domain name, right? Insert into cell. I can directly copy paste also. Uh, it can now have both HTTP plus WW protocol. And let me check whether it is working. No, something is not correct. Generally, it does it. I've done it various times. Array result was not expanded because it would overwrite. Okay, let me see what is happening. But yeah, generally it extracts it, right? I already have a lot of keywords extracted, lot of other columns, right? Like sentiment, you see, issue description. I can go and ask, can you describe or classify the particular column which is present into any one of the following, right? All my reviews are classified into whether it's no issue, whether it's a quality issue, whether it's a product issue, and now you can route it to the right department, right, within this Excel file. So you can create your own categories like no issue, right? I have created product issue. So I can use these kind of things by just mentioning it, and it will create a new cell for me and have it already done, right? So I think I just need to have it working. Ideally, it get confused when you have multiple accounts open, right? So yes, I think that's the issue, right? So you can see the error it is showing that I have multiple Gmail account login. If you just log out from the other one and switch to the original one, because I have it in my personal also, so that is the error. I was not able to get it. Right. So you can imagine where once you have only one account, this is enabled in your extension tab, right? This is showing me that you have multiple accounts opened in your tab. I have to log out from all of these to operate it perfectly fine, right? So that is the main reason that why it was misbehaving it, but you can try logging out and logging in. But for anything you want to do in the Excel, Numerous.ai is the tool. If you don't want to upload your files on ChatGPT or any other tool, if the data is confidential, right? Last but not the least, which is how I told you in the beginning, right? You remember that I have created a AI video from the model. I have created an image. What if I want to give a very stunning music to all my videos again for free? And I'll tell you the business opportunity which is lying here also after the demo of this tool, right? Very powerful tool. This is quite a famous now, right? Suno.ai, which has a capability of generating the entire song, right? So let me generate it one for you, and we can see a few other examples. We just completed level 1 and 2 of Gen AI, and now are really pumped up in upskilling AI. Generate a, right? I can give any theme, by the way, right? Generate a EDM song, right? You can choose from different inspiration also, by the way, right? What all different available, your lo-fi music, your highly pop music, slow music, historical, guitar, natural, all these types are there. I want to have a EDM songs, right? EDM songs are generally high on energy, right? Generate EDM songs, high energy, so that we are motivated, right? I just want to do that. I'll give as an input to create, and we will see the two new songs will be just coming up in few seconds on this theme, and you can attach it to your AI videos, your hackathon videos, anything you can do it, and it's a full-fledged music. And I'll tell you the business opportunity which is lying out there, which people are using, by the way. First, let's hear what kind of output it gives. I hope this is audible to everyone. Racing hearts in
future's calling loud and clear. Leveling up with no fear. Electric veins, wire tight, chasing dreams in the speed of light.
Right, this is all the lyrics that you can see over here.
Level up, we're never slowing.
Right, let's hear the second one. So all these lyrics, all the music is being written, composed by entirely AI, right?
We lit the spark, now it's ablaze. Racing hearts in a neon maze. The future's calling loud and clear. Leveling up with no fear. Electric veins, wire tight, chasing dreams in the speed.
By the way, it can generate Hindi. I have not tried any other language, but Hindi raps and all that we can generate inside this tool.
Level up, we're never slowing. Level up. Fire's glowing, step by step.
Let's hear the Hindi version as well. Now it is a Hindi rap.
एआई के गेम में हम नए प्लेयर लेके स्किल्स बनाए लेयर दिमाग शार्प जैसे ब्लेड का एज कोडिंग की दुनिया ये हमारी स्टेज सपने बड़े विजन क्लियर लेवल 1 2 अब कोई फियर अब स्किलिंग जैसे रॉकेट का फ्यूल एआई के रास्ते बनाए कूल भाग रहा है टाइम हमसे आगे पर हम भी नहीं रुकेंगे इस दौर के साथ एआई के उस्ताद बनेंगे ये हाथ दिमाग का है जादू
I can use it in one of
एआई के गेम में हम नए प्लेयर लेके स्किल्स बनाए लेयर दिमाग शार्प जैसे
Great,
ब्लेड
right?
का
So now I left it to you, right? You can explore your creativity, you can give it a prompt, try different things out of it. But actually, how people are building, right? People are actually making their AI videos, right? You are remixing the shots. There are a lot of AI tools mixing with the AI songs and generating their faceless YouTube channels and getting monetized, right? There are a lot of you can say channels right there in the market which are using, I mean, at least I know because my brother is into this media industry. He has its own studio, BG Arts. We are creating ads for people by adding their personalized songs for their brand, right? You tell about their brand, you tell about their what they do, create a personalized song for their brand, attach it to a video, and you can sell it off, right? So a lot of people, and these are all copyright free. If you are thinking I cannot download this, you can simply download this by clicking on this download. You can have a mp3 file in your laptop, right? So I mean, when you're advanced user of it, you can definitely buy. I'm using a free plan, right? I think you can generate if I'm not wrong, I think 10 or maybe 15 songs in the free plan. So you can try it out per month. That is also renewed every month, but you can try different features. But this is all how AI has gone to this level, generating all the three things, right? Text, images, audio, video, right? Images and videos are the same thing. So you consider it in the same bucket because videos are nothing but multiple images rendered in 1 second, right? That is where the term FPS comes in, frames per second. So videos and images are under same category, right? So that is for some fun element, but definitely lying a great opportunity for all of you to make something unique out of it and do it, right? Okay, last but not the least, right? This is the one tool which is I want you to keep handy for yourself, right? To get all these AI tools. One more thing is there, which is I'll show you at the end, right? Which is quite, you can say, a surprise for all of you, right? I mean, you'll be getting one special link for the product which is only invite based, right? So you don't generally get. So I'll share you once after this. So there is a tool called, there is an AI for that, right? Lot of times I think you also have this question. Once the funny will take care of Q&A, that I want to build something in finance, what all tools are available, I want to do this, I want to do that. So just bookmark this website, there is an AI for that. Already more than 40,000 tools are live on this particular app, right? And I can go to this task, right, where I can find the niches, right? So now if you are building something related to, let's say, let's find some very good niche, right? Spirituality, right? Let's explore some what are the AI tools which are only in spirituality, right? So you can find that niches, try it out. That's how I use, right? I try to let's say I get some idea, right? We have something going on in the video space. I'm not revealing it as of now, but me and my group of friends who are working on one of the idea, we want to combine some video AI tools into one and making something out of that. So we are exploring this. You can download, right? A lot of great tools are there. Let's say interior designing, right? So if you are inspired and you want to build something into interior design, you have all these tools. Try it out, right? You will get the link, you get click on open, you will try it out this tool and find the gaps what is still there in this tool, right? If you are want to build, right, you try it out for yourself, that is one use. If you're building something, you want to find the doing a market research, what is the gap or what is left, this is the best site to do that, right? I generally do find the niches, what is left, where the opportunity is lying, and all that part you can try it out. Right. So, yes, I think let's add the one last demo, which I told. I'll show you, right? This is, by the way, like Funny will share more details and the coupon code with you where you can have this. I hope everyone have heard about this Comet browser, right? Comet browser is not a traditional browser, right? It's from the Perplexity, which can take actions on your behalf, right? It's not just opening a tab and getting the research done, right? So you can get the link, specialized link, and if you are a pro user, right, by the Airtel, I mean, you are getting a pro user already, you can use this for free, right? You can download this, and this is not a traditional browser, right? I can give a very extensive query. Can you find me a restaurant near me, right? Having 4.5 plus rating and is open till 11 p.m. Right? So it is not a traditional browser. It will go and have your things done, listed it out for you. Even once you say that, create a table for me, it will go and create a booking for you, let's say in Zomato or any other app which you are using, right? So it can take actions. It's not just a random browser, right? It can do all the filtration, all the working done, and it will showcase you the results which are much more dedicated to your search query, right? To be cautious, right? I want every one of you to be cautious here is generally, right? I mean, as of now, there is a lot of security things are going on at the back end of these browsers, right? People are trying to hack. So don't do any financial thing as of now, right? There is a very recent article published by Brave, right? Brave is the browser which I am using. That if you have logged into your, let's say, net banking and all, so browser can take action. So don't go into the finance side of things where you really need to take anything, but to get a search done, to get your research paper done, to book a table, all of this doesn't require it, just require you a number, putting in your email ID and number. That is still fine, right? It doesn't involve any transactional details or any transactional activity. So that is how you can have these browsers coming in, right? It will go and show you the results which is tailored to your query, saving you a lot of time. I can directly get the restaurants option out there once it is done. So right, it is right now searching for it. I'll come back. Meanwhile, we can see our uh, the deep research which was doing happening. Yes, right. So it has done the deep research. It took 7 minutes to complete and done all these activities. Top small cap fund, which is satisfying my criteria of CAGR more than 15% across 3 years, 5 years, and 10 years, and I wanted small cap as well as mid cap, right? So all of these details coming in, all different resources. So it saves you lot of time when it comes to do a complex researches in any of your niches that is available, right? So you can try these features, try this browser. So I think Funny will share the link once we are done. So it is just looking at the tables, right? It is going through all the tables you can see, right? It is finding a table inside Delhi, right? Because it has taken my location. It is searching all the lists. It is doing the action, by the way, for me and getting the things done, right? So I can sit back and relax. And once it is done with the list, based on the reviews, based on the timings, it will show me the entire list of restaurants, right? So I'm just waiting it to complete. Uh, okay, no, allow this time. Okay, I got my response, I think. Now it is still working. So yeah, let it done. It will open a tab. It will go and do all the things for me. Let's skip the remaining steps with the interest of time, right? So it will take some time and give you all the output. And I will get my entire links to be here. Right, so I just paused it, but yeah, you will get the entire restaurant links once you are done. So it's a very normal browser, right? But you have this action taking done with this Perplexity itself, right? So you can use your Pro Airtel Pro account if you already have, and you can take the actions. You can see the browser is doing all the things for you in the real time on the left hand side. Perfect, right? So with that, I think we are almost done, right? You will get the link from the funny itself. I'll just hand over just kudos to everyone. I'll just uh, quickly summarize where we started and where we are heading towards it, and then I'll hand over. So we started off with our first definition of Gen AI. We saw the five-step process of transformers, the magic prompt formula, right? How the prompt changes the output of my model. Then we explored different reasoning models. We did one exercise of the complex prompt. What is the difference between reasoning versus non-reasoning? And finally, we did a lot of AI tools exploration, going from the productivity bucket to research bucket to data slicing and even the music generation app. And that's how we planned the first session to make your experience that yes, AI is doing something great. So you don't should be anxious, but you should be focused with this mindset that you want to develop this skill and become an AI journalist, right? So with that, I hand over to Funny and he
Perfect.
can
Thank
take
you
the rest of the
so
session.
much, Divij. I think all throughout the session, I loved seeing the reactions come in as people got exposed to multiple different tools and possibilities with generative AI. Folks, let me know on the chat, how do you feel? We are just done with the very first session. Of course, we spoke about how AI models work and all of that, but we went beyond of how they work, and we also tried to show you applications. And we are just going to go way, way, way forward from here, right? Loving all the responses. Divij, I hope you can see the chat as well.
Yes.